All right, everybody, welcome to another HBCU Game Day conversation, and we're chatting with an old friend from the East Coast who's, where are you now? Antonio Davis is at Central State University. He's the brand new men's head coach there for the Marauders. Coach Davis, what are you, Rust Belt? Are you Midwest now? What's your demo? What's your geo?
Hey, you know I'm a man on the move. So we are out in the Midwest now. Very excited about what we're doing here and looking forward to the challenge. Very, very, very excited. So it's wonderful.
Look, you are an old school vet of
Yes, sir,
HBCU
absolutely.
basketball. And Coach, we always have to list your resume as a player before we even talk about coaching, man. You are probably the greatest shooter that people don't know about.
Probably.
You were in school at Livingstone. And when I say people, I mean the masses. Of course, we know about you. I mean, from the three-point line, from the free throw line, from the field.
Yes, sir.
I want to see how modest you are. You were pretty good.
Well, thank you. You're very kind. I'm a modest guy when it comes to myself, actually. However, I'm the greatest of all time. I'm the greatest shooter of all time. The numbers say so. There's no other 50, 90 person that's ever walked this earth. So
Wow.
I'm the guy.
Wow. Where did that
Like you
come
said,
from?
a lot of people don't know that.
Where did that come from?
A lot of hard work.
50% from the floor, from the three-point line, 90% from the free throw line.
Certainly.
Where do you develop that stroke as a young man?
In the backyard as a young person. Back in my day, it wasn't a lot for us to do. We don't have all the distractions and didn't have those that we have today. So it was just outside playing, and we played all sports. But I put in a lot of work on the court, just shooting the ball every day. And my OCD, my wife tells me my OCD plays a part in that. So I was out there and shooting. I didn't leave the court until I made 100 free throws in a row. That's a very true story. So I put in a lot of work. So it paid off.
So you've been coaching for a long time now. You've been some of everywhere. You've had a heavy dose of North Carolina.
Yes.
At Livingstone. Most recently, you were the women's coach at Elizabeth City State University. You've had a lot of other stops. When I was looking up your full resume, I realized this is not your first stop in the SIAC. You were at Kentucky State a few moons ago, right?
Yes, absolutely. This is my second stint in the SIAC. As you mentioned, I was at Kentucky State University. Had a very successful program there. We were one of the dominant teams in the 90s on the women's side. I won SIAC championships. I went to the NCAA playoffs, had perennial 20-win teams. So we were very good. Looking to bring that back on the men's side, this time at Central State.
So from the East Coast to the Midwest, men's basketball, women's basketball, you've done a little bit of it all. What are some of the things that travel well from program to program, no matter where you are on the map or no matter whether or not you're coaching men or women?
Sure. I call it the 3 Ds, discipline, detail, and dedication. That's what I input into the programs wherever I am. That's what I try to teach the young people. That's what I try to live by myself and lead by example. And it's worked for me, and I've been successful. I've traditionally taken over programs that haven't been very good, quite frankly, and been able to turn them all around. This particular stop, this is a solid group, so we're looking forward to getting to work with them. But that's, how it is when you're trying to make a culture change. You have to put those, I have to implement those things in place, and I do those.
Central State has been doing a lot. I mean, you got a new men's coach, new women's coach.
Yes.
You got a new volleyball coach. There's a lot of synergy in the last 30 days. What's going on there with the Marauders?
Oh, goodness, I'm so excited. We're making a change. We have a new president. We have the AD who's recently here, wonderful staff. She's putting people in place. We're moving in the right direction. I couldn't wait to get here, be quite frank, going through my interview process and meeting everyone. Very, very impressive. And I certainly wanted to be on this ship as it sailed. It's going to be very successful across the board. A lot of great coaches, a lot of pressure on me. A lot of great coaches here that have been hired, a lot of championships.
I see what you did there. I want to back up a little bit. You did the Marauders, the ship, the sail. That was really cool.
You like that? Okay.
What was the hiring process for you like? Last year you were at Elizabeth City. You had man, you were inducted into the CIAA Hall of Fame last year. But as the coaching profession goes, people make changes. It's a transient profession.
It is.
Were you looking to relax for a while, or were you immediately trying to jump back in? How did the courtship go with you and Central State?
Sure. I was looking to get back in. I still have a tremendous passion for what I do and a tremendous passion for young people. I'm an old school guy, as you mentioned. I've been around a long time. So basketball is a vehicle to teach young people about life. I'm a dinosaur in that way. So I try to continue that tradition of the old heads, as we used to call them, the Big House Gaines, the Harvey Hartleys, the Bobby Vaughns, those type of people. I'm carrying the torch now. So it's my turn, and I'm going to pass it on to somebody here in the near future, perhaps a few years, but I'm getting on the other side of the hill. So we try to keep that tradition alive by teaching young people the right way. You teach them from basketball. So I'm going to keep that going. I'm looking very, very forward to it.
Coach, we appreciate your modesty. I'm going to take a good look at you here on my Zoom screen, man. There's not a wrinkle on your face. You're talking about getting close to the other side, man. Come on.
Very kind, man. Hey, this is my 29th season. So I've been at it for a while. So you're very kind, though. You're very kind. But I still have that passion for it. I still have a passion for young people, as I said. And I still love the game, love teaching the game the right way. I'm a big advocate of that as well. So that's that dinosaur mentality as well. This new school basketball stuff, I can't take it. So I'm fighting against it. Let's make that extra pass. Let's take a good shot. Let's sit down on defense. Let's talk. So
now look,
I'm keeping it alive, man.
Coach, this new school basketball is all about the perimeter. Everybody wants to take a three-point shot. You're the greatest shooter ever. You have to be loving this era of basketball.
Nobody. It's about taking a good three-point shot, not these sidestep three-pointers that percentages go down when championship basketball come to play. So no, it's a good thing to shoot them, but you have to know when to. I call it when and when not to. You got to know when to take a good shot. And you see a lot of bad shots today. And I think that's what happens when you get to championship play, even on the NBA level. And then as you drop down through college, the teams that are successful are the teams that are disciplined on both sides of the court. So that's what we're going to try to instill.
I'm wondering, and forgive me if I'm asking you to think back too far, but
oh goodness, yeah, you are.
Roughly, what percentage of 3-point shots constituted your offense as a player at Livingstone as opposed to basketball today, roughly?
Absolutely. No, it's a great question. And to be quite frank, it was about efficiency for me. I scored a lot of points. I was quite efficient, meaning so if I took maybe 20 shots a game, maybe a fourth would be threes. So 4 or 5 shots a game. I certainly had some games where I shot more, but the bulk of my shot, taking 15 threes a game, that just didn't exist then. It was just a better shot selection. So today they just firing them up. Shoot, I scored 35 a clip, but the key was going to the foul line at that time. It wasn't by shooting threes. So you see a lot of guys now that score 35, 40 points, but they had a very bad game because they weren't efficient. So you can't score 40 points and take 39 shots. I scored 40 points and took 18 shots just to show you the difference. So that's efficiency and playing winning basketball.
Does the 3-point shot in today's basketball, it doesn't mean you necessarily have to have a 6'10" and a 7-foot, bunch of guys in your lineup. Does that help equalize the parity of the game? Does it make it a little easier to recruit just because you're always going to have more inventory of guards than you do, 6'10" and 7-footers?
That's right. It makes it much easier to, recruit guards these days. And it's just tough to find that back to the basket, low block player anymore that has that fundamental footwork. Those are dinosaurs as well. If you do find those, you better pick them up quickly because you still got to play that half-court basketball when it comes down to championship play, no matter how you look at it. Even when you look at the Golden State Warriors, for instance, on the professional level, who everyone loves, if you really watch them play, they're not just shooting 3-pointers. Curry and Thompson, those guys, and Durant when he was there, they were shooting mid-range, going to the basket, getting fouled. So the perception was they were shooting all threes, but they weren't. A lot of movement, a lot of backdoor cuts, playing the game the right way. Although you see the problems with the Houston Rockets, who that style will never win a championship. It's not going to happen because they won't take the mid-range. And if you go cold, then you get in those streaks. And that's what happens to them every year. So it's still a low post game at the end.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they put Carmelo out the pasture, and then he comes back, and then we realize Carmelo can still play if you just let him.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. No question about
it. Coach, the SIAC, talking to Coach Antonio Davis, he's the new men's head basketball coach at Central State University, coming over from the CIAA, now in the SIAC. They recently announced their plan to play. It's going to be a little different. It's almost going to be like an NBA-esque schedule because when people get to your town, you guys are going to play some back-to-backs to make sure you can just get them in and try to limit travel. Fans won't be allowed on campus for anything that's played at a SIAC school. What challenges, if any, does that give you, or is that more of a chance to focus? How do you view the challenges of playing basketball this year under the COVID conditions?
Sure. It's certainly going to be a challenge, but it's a challenge for everyone. What I will emphasize in my group is that, hey, we're still even Steven, as we used to say. Everybody's playing under the same circumstance, the same conditions, so there are no excuses. We're always going to preach that. So we'll keep some things in mind as we go along. As you said, it's going to be a condensed schedule. There's not a lot of time to get in shape and get to work. So we're going to have to coach it a little differently. May have some people on the pitch count, to be quite frank. Just to make sure that they're healthy. You don't want to overexert them. You may end up with a lot of injuries. So we're going to look at it from that perspective as well. Trying to figure out how exactly to play the season. Probably going to be a lot of bodies out there playing. Your rotations will probably be a lot deeper than normal just because of that in the back-to-back situation as well, as you mentioned. So we're looking forward to the challenge. Probably emphasize a little bit about the bubble situation and taking that as a challenge, looking at the NBA situation and just try to get them excited about it. So,
it almost, to me, it seems like it works well for a first-year coach at a new school, but obviously a veteran like yourself. It's almost like an AAU environment where you get a lot of observation to see what you have to work with moving forward.
Exactly right. So we certainly want to be fair, but we're going to evaluate the young men and as we go out and play. So it's probably going to be good for them because probably they all going to get an opportunity to get on the floor. So as we do that, I'll evaluate them. So that'll probably get the masses excited, as you said. They all know they're going to get a chance to play. So they're going to be ready to go.
What was
That's
your
my
message?
job, right? Got to get them ready.
Yeah. What was your message to the team and what was their reception to you coming in as the new coach this season?
Sure. I just told them I was excited to be here. I'm excited to coach them. I'm going to lead them with passion and enthusiasm, but accountability as well. We're going to do what we're supposed to do on and off the court. And I told them, I like to tell them, I'm never going to ask you to do anything that I wouldn't do. So the young men are very excited. We've been communicating, building relationships. Good group of young men. So I'm excited so far, and they have been as well.
As we talk now, a little bit before people will actually see this, we're in the first week of November. Have you had a chance to practice, get the guys on the court yet?
Not yet. We actually have not had opportunity talking about bringing them back the 1st of December to get them in. So we definitely won't have a lot of time, but we're going to use our time wisely and get them ready. So they've been working out on their own. We're giving them some things to do. It's a dedicated group, so I think they'll come back ready and in shape.
Conditioning.
That ugly word. I
was only a utility player in high school, but I remember those first days of practice. You didn't see too many balls. There was a lot of running out there to kind of gauge and see where you were at. How do you think the guys are going to do on the first day of Coach Davis and the whistle?
First day is always tough. However, I think with the delay and the enthusiasm, and they've been chomping at the bits to get back out there, I think it's going to be a little different in that sense because they're going to be ready to go. So it's going to be tough now, no question about it. But I think they'll get through it just because they're excited to get going. But I'm going to push them.
As a longtime lover of the game of basketball, job transition this year, COVID. There was just so many unknowns.
Yes.
What type of new appreciation have you developed for basketball since I last saw you at CIAA Media Day last year?
Sure. Well, as you said, I'm a basketball lover. I just love the game. I love what it presents on and off the court for young people. It's my love. So I'm always going to be appreciative of the opportunities that I get. I've had plenty of them over the years, and I'm going to continue to be appreciative of it. But I'm always trying to learn. You know, I learn from people around me. I learn from other coaches. I learn from players. I even learn from the current players. For instance, just having conversations with them this week, just learning a little bit about them and what their goals and expectations are. So what you have to do at any point in time, even when you get older, is just be open to learning. I'm pretty good at this. I've been at it a long time, but I don't know everything by a long shot. So it's always just being willing to improve and having I'm very critical of myself. So I have a strong self-analysis of what I do and what I don't do. And I'll always keep it there. Trying to improve always.
Well, Coach Antonio Davis, your record speaks for itself. Congratulations again. You're not even a year into the Hall of Fame from the CIAA. And we wish you great success as you move on in the SIAC with the Marauders, the best mascot ever, the Marauders at Central State University. And hopefully one day we'll get to see you in person again under what will be the new normal circumstances. But we definitely wish you the best there at Central State.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me.